We're focusing on your driver, and the answers you've given us indicate you have what we would call a classic slice. So the ball starts straight or to the left of target and then curves too far to the right through the air. You've also told us that your preference would be to play with a fade. So it's a shot that does start to the left, but less so, and then has a slight curve to the right back towards target. The slice is caused by an excessively out to in swing path, so the club head is moving to the left of target through impact. You then have an open club face, so when the club face points to the right of the direction of the swing, the ball curves to the right through the air, and the more the face is open, the further it curves. So for your fade, we do still want an out to in swing path and an open face, but much less so than what you have right now. So we need a more neutral swing path that's moving only slightly left of target, and a more neutral club face, so one that is only very slightly open. So this isn't a case of completely changing your swing, it's just calibrating these two variables. So the first thing we're going to look at is the swing path. I've got a stick on the ground to help us out as an alignment aid. It's parallel to the target line and it's set up just outside the toe of my right foot. Now the first thing to notice is that on the way down, the more you get the club shaft angled outward in relation to this stick, the more likely and the more severely your club head will be moving from out to in. On the other hand, the more you get the club shaft angled inwards in relation to the stick, the more likely and the more severely you will swing from in to out. Now our more neutral swing path would be made much easier if we had a more neutral downswing, which of course is somewhere in between those two extremes. And that would be using the stick on the ground as the reference and trying to get our club shaft lined up on top of that when we arrive at what we call the delivery position, which is here where the club is around hip height on its way down towards impact. So the first goal would be to get the feeling of what it's like to go up to the top and come down more than you go out. So from the top, if you can get the club to come down more, it will arrive at this more neutral position. From here, you can have the club head approach impact from slightly inside the target line, but on its natural arc, it can very easily come around to straight and then start to move back inside as it moves through impact, and that's your out to in swing path. Secondly will be the club face. So it's important to understand that in every golf swing, the club face rotates open quite a lot as it goes from setup to the top of the swing. And it rotates open more than we need it to. So with every golf swing, from the top of the swing down to impact, we have to get the club face rotating back towards square. In this case, we don't want it to reach square because we want a slight fade. But we need it to be less open than it is right now, and that means you need to twist the club from open towards square more than you are. So if we look at how we do that, of course we hold the grip of the club, so it's through the grip that we can twist the club around its shaft, which brings the toe towards the heel and helps the face move back towards square. Somewhere from the top of the swing to impact, you need to be applying some more of this twist than you are currently. So let's take our setup up to the top, and if you bring it down to our delivery position in that nice neutral position with the shaft in line with or parallel to the target line, start to feel that you've applied a little bit of a twist of this club to the left. So you're getting the toe of the club to move around and over the heel. You're getting the club face to go from pointing up to pointing slightly more down. Now, if we can start the twisting early, there's less to do right down at the bottom of the swing. However, even in this position, that club face is still open in relation to the target. So this rotation has to continue into impact. It doesn't just stop here. So from here, we need to feel we're getting the club to approach the ball from slightly inside the target line, and we also need to feel that the toe is continuing to catch up with the heel. After impact, the club goes left and the club rolls over to a more shut position, but this is after the ball's already gone. So, again, up to the top, down to neutral, feel that you've given it a little bit of a twist, approach impact from inside the target line, and let the club release through. Of course, it's only hitting balls that you'll know whether you're doing these movements in the right amount or not. So the ideal is to go to the driving range and get a number of balls so you can go through a few reps. Every time you hit a shot, watch the ball flight and analyze it. The more the face is open, the more it curves to the right. So if you have an excessive curve to the right, you need to apply more of a twist. If we can get a more neutral swing path, and again this slightly open face, you will be seeing your slight fades. So let's give it a go here. We want to feel the neutral downswing, a little bit of closing of the club face as the club approaches from slightly inside the target line, and then follow through as you would as comfortably as you can.